Hey everybody, it's Julie. Thanks for joining me today for this Bible journaling process video. I am doing a mixed media project and I have landed here in Psalm 131. I am using a printable available from Sweet'n Sassy Stamps, and just look at these precious images that are in it. These beetle cars and trailers and bicycles, and you can see I've already dug into it. And I'm going to be using this girl right here, and then these This printable is called Go God's Way, and I have linked my blog post where I talk about it some more, and it just really talks about waiting on God and how do we wait while we are waiting for God to reveal His plan to us. What do we do? It's a wonderful devotional and printable bundle, so I've linked that. So what I'm doing here is starting off, I've masked my verse, and this is 131 verse 2 in Psalm. I've masked my verse with some washi tape, and you notice that I placed it on my hand first, and that just gets rid of some of the stickiness so it won't stick too much to my page. And now I sponged around it with some Distress Oxide ink. This color is Faded Jeans. Now I'm going to do some smushing. This is my favorite technique. I just stamp it onto some clear packaging and then I get it wet. I added some water to it with my sprayer, but you can also just use the aqua brush. I used both here, but I felt like it needed to be a little bit wetter. So I'm using both the aqua brush to move it around and then the sprayer just to get it wet. And now this color is Peeled Paint. These are just two colors that I have, and they match the blue and the green that are in the printable. The little girl, and then she's a lady, and then her purse. Now you notice these Distress Oxides do bleed through the page, especially where they're wet. They don't always bleed through if they're not wet. But I just always deal with the bleed through. Sometimes I'll prep my page, I don't always. Now I'm going to be using those same inks to do some stenciling. I'm just going for a mixed media background here. This stencil is from a Dilutions Techniques kit that I have linked. I could only find it at Michael's, and so I do have that linked, but I can't find it anywhere else. I can't find it singly. It's only part of this kit. Maybe you can find it somewhere else. But I really like those polka dots that were in there. Now what you see, instead of wasting the ink that is still on the stencil, I spritz it and then I just wipe that on the page, and that just gives me more of that smushing. So now I'm going to sponge with the green, and I'm going to move to the flowers. Did you notice how I stuck some Velcro coins on the back of my ink pad, and that's where I keep those blending tools, the pads. That way I have one allocated to each color, and I don't get a mixture of those colors. Okay, so I'm just doing that at the bottom and at the top. Sorry, my camera's shaking because I am really giving this a good rub. So that's just giving some background onto my page, just a lot of fun there. Again, I just spritz my stencil and then press that around, smush it around, get a little bit of extra color on the page. Don't waste that ink. Okay, so I'm removing the masking now, and you can see how it just highlights that verse. It keeps the verse clean, and it really highlights that verse. I'm going to flatten out my page here. You can use anything that's flat and round. I happen to have a rubber brayer next to my desk, so I just use that. This is certainly not a necessary item, but I happen to have one, so I use that, and it works really well. Just rolls it out. I do have a couple of process videos I can link up here in the corner that uses a roller brayer for different options and different projects, so you can see what the purpose of them is, but they're very functional. So now I'm taking one of these printables, and I have printed this on clear sticker sheets. I'll have that linked in the comment section, and I just really love this little girl. Again, I'm calling her a little girl. I think I'm younger than I am. This lady who's just sitting and waiting. Waiting. We seem like we're waiting all the time, don't we? Waiting in traffic, waiting in the office, at the doctor's office, just waiting. And this is all about having faith while we wait, waiting for God to reveal His plan, waiting for God to work out His plan in our lives. So I'm using now, this stamp set is a new one by Sweet'n Sassy Stamps called Life in Jesus. Now I've stamped the word faith and then this flag. And now I just want to share with you, this is called the Stamp Chamois. It's a wonderful cleaner. It does not leave residue on your stamps, and all you do is wet it. It's a great value. So now I'm going to pull out some alphas. These are from Illustrated Faith, and you can purchase them at Dayspring. I do have a link right now as of the day of this video. There is BOGO sales going on. Lots of stuff, buy one, get one, and these alphas and then some of these other products that you'll see that I'm using are buy one, get one, so you can mix and match. So I'm spelling out faith and wait, and then in that flag I'm going to write while I. So my title here is Faith While I Wait. Now I'm going to be coloring my letters here, the word faith. And again, I'm just using the Distress Oxide inks here, and I squished the lid against the top of the ink pad, and that caused, you'll see me do it right here. No, I've already done it. It caused the ink to pull into the top of the lid, and so I can just pick it up like some paint. And I'm using my aqua brush, and I'm keeping the blue up at the top and the green at the bottom, so it gives this ombre effect. And then I'm kind of blending it in the middle just by pulling my brush down. And it's just a really neat effect, and these Distress Oxide inks work really well for this. You can do this with watercolors, you can do it with watercolor pencils, crayons, anything like that. It works really well with anything that's blendable. So I like that effect. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a couple of things here. These elements from the kit. Oh, well, first I'm going to outline my letters. I always like to do that. It just makes them pop off the page better. So I'm outlining those. Now I'm writing in while I. Now, see that empty space? What do you do with empty space? You can always draw a heart. That's what I do lots of times, and then I just colored that in with the matching blue. Okay, so now this little tag here that says, while I wait, I will trust. It's on the clear sticker sheet, and again, I have that linked, but I don't want that to show through. The girl showed through a good bit with the background, and I'm okay with that, but I really want this banner to not show through the background. So I'm sticking it on white cardstock first, and then I'm doing that for the tab as well up at the top. I want that to be stronger, so I just stick that on some white cardstock. Now I'm just using some scratch paper where I brushed off my aqua brush, and so you can see a little bit of color behind it, but I am so not worrying about that. Now I've got a little bit of extra space there, and then on these alpha letters they have a couple of little hearts, so I'm taking one of those and sticking that up there. So I'm just sticking that banner down there at the bottom, and it says, while I wait, I will trust. Now I'm using this pen that's it's from scrapbook.com. It was actually a freebie with an order I got a couple weeks ago, but it's really great for writing on slick surfaces like these clear sticker sheets. So I'm just loving it. Now it's very thick and it does bleed through your Bible pages, but I really like it for these purposes. So you can see what's on the back of that cardstock, but that's okay. I kind of like it. So I have this ribbon that was in my stash. I made a bow out of it. I'm sticking that up at the top. And then this faux washi that came with the printable. I'm outlining my verse. I'm adding the text reference up there. And then some journaling. It really was a fun page to make, a simple page. But a little bit of process. It really didn't take me that long. I'm adding some journaling. Again, check out my blog post where I really go into this passage and some of the details and the heart behind this art. And I've linked all of the products. I've also linked them in the comments section. Again, there are a lot of good sales going on right now, so check those out. Leave a comment in the comments section if you have any questions or just you want to chat. And give this video a thumbs up if it inspired you, if you liked it, share it with someone. and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much, and until next time, God bless. Bye-bye.